Hello, ladies and gentlemen. RC Bash Boy here. Welcome. So I've had a RC dilemma for many months already, and this dilemma is about what RC Basher is out there for a budget that is about $400. Okay, so I went to work. I've actually, I did my research. So here are the brands that I'm technically, considering. They're definitely in my wish list. So and hopefully you guys enjoy, the journey that I went through, to find, the right basher for $400. Okay, and of course, this is mine. This is my own personal opinion. This is an opinion, to my liking, something that I know I will enjoy. I know there's others that think differently. So yeah, I mean, technically, what you're about to see is, the vehicles that really, really caught my attention, the vehicles that, that are in the market, and who knows, there's other people that technically they love them, they hate them, they just can't stand them, etc., etc. So the brands that I chose, to look at is Traxxas, Red Cat, Losi, and Arma. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and talk about those brands, the vehicles that I technically chose. Yeah, so we'll go from there and we'll see how this goes. So let's get started. All right, so one of the first brands right off the bat we can start off is Arma. Okay, and of course, this lineup is amazing. Okay, so we got the Arma, the 1/5 Kraden, and of course that is $899. And then we got the Arma Mojave 1/7 scale brushless. That's your truck. It's at $629. So technically you got the 1/8 Arma Outcast. I do have the, hopefully it's here. I do have the Notorious, which is technically the same, chassis as the Outcast. But then, once again, I want to be in the $400, budget. Okay, so right off the bat, we're gonna go ahead and check out this Arma Outcast 4x4, the 4S. I don't know if I clicked it. Yeah, there it goes. So it's the 110 4x4 4S BLX brushless stunt truck with Spectrum. Okay. So you can run this in a 3S, 2S, all the way up to 4S. If I'm not mistaken, see if we can check out the chassis here. No, well, yeah, actually, you would have to pair two batteries in parallel, in order for this vehicle to run. You will have to buy a jumper in case you want to run a 2S or a 3S or just one battery. You would just get a jumper. You would just, loop one of the connectors and then just plug in the battery on the other end, and that solves that problem. So let's go down here to features. So like I said, it's a 4S capable brushless power system, up to 50 miles an hour in speed. The Spectrum STX2, which my opinion on that remote. Built-in 3-position throttle limiter, which is still in the remote. Let's see here. Well, it's the ADS 50M waterproof Metal Gear servo. And when you see that little asterisk right there, it says, for details of waterproof standards, please refer to instruction manuals. So technically there it's telling you that, it can be waterproof, but maybe splash proof. This thing cannot, last underwater a lot, etc., etc. So yeah. It says right here, the BLX, the 120 amp ESC with dual EC5 battery connectors. So once again, which I stated previously, if you just want to run one battery, you would just have to buy that loop. Or if you want to, what you can also do is just cut, the wire that actually bridges, to the other wire. Just cut that off, and you can just make this into one connection as well. So that's also doable, on that ESC. Let's see here. Lengthened suspension, arms, drive shafts for wider track, 3S BLX vehicles. Standard chassis brace for maximum durability, metal spur gear, and castellated slipper pads. Enlarged front and rear hubs and added strength, durable 17 millimeter hex, which this is pretty cool. The hex are much bigger. That's pretty cool. So 16 millimeter big bore shocks and molded in shocks. Low profile backflip tires and a 2-year limited warranty. And then needed to complete 1 3S, 4S, or 2 2S LiPo battery setup, appropriate LiPo balancing charger, which everybody has, right? And then 4 AA batteries for transmitter. So, so technically, this vehicle, I did see some reviews, and actually, Netcruiser RC, John, he actually did a really good review on this truck. So this vehicle is definitely on my wish list. Did I get it? That is something that it will still remain a surprise. But yeah, this is definitely budget friendly, which is at $399. So it's at $400, and then plus tax, depending where you live. Yeah, it's roughly $400 plus vehicle. So yeah, this vehicle is definitely in my wish list. So now let's go on to another vehicle. Another vehicle that I've had in mind is the 1/7 scale, the Arma Mojave. So let's see what this is all about. So this vehicle is a 1/7 scale vehicle. It's a 6S capable truck. But of course, I want to stick to the $400 mark. Okay, so this is technically 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so this is way over budget. Okay, so another thing, I could have pulled the plug on this truck, but the only thing is, I just couldn't do it is, they're always at back order. Okay, so yeah, technically this truck, it's awesome, it's amazing. But yeah, they always run out of stock quickly. Okay, so yeah, so this was definitely a must-have here with RC Basher Boy, but due to the availability, that's going to be a negative. So, but anyway, we'll read the specs really quick here. So it's a 1/7 scale model, 6 LiPo, 6S LiPo capable, metal gears, and then 60 mile per hour plus. Anodized aluminum chassis. So this truck is definitely a beast, a true basher. Okay, RC Dude 81 has really put this truck to the test, and that guy, I can just say, this guy sold me. Okay, so thanks to him, thanks of him of bashing it daily, putting through his paces and where he bashes everything. Yeah, man, this thing took a beating. Okay, but this right here, back order, was a complete turnoff for me. I'm very disappointed that these trucks are very, very hard to get. And another thing that I'm not mentioning, but it's true. Another thing is this thing is a 1/6 scale. Okay, so in order for me to get this truck, I do have the Traxxas UDR. Okay, if I would have to purchase this vehicle, now I would have to really, really work my space, move it around to see if it fits somewhere, or eventually, by the end of the day, one of these trucks, which is this one, the Mojave, or the UDR, the UDR, one of those trucks will have to go. So, and yeah, of course, you can't really compare, the UDR to this, because, the UDR is more of a scale truck. It's much more of a, just kind of gently ramp it and do this and do that. And then this thing is just a monster truck overall. Okay, this thing, really, really takes a beating. And of course, I really do enjoy the UDR. So, and actually, it does have a sentimental value, axiomatic. So yeah, that's gonna be a very tough thing to do. But once again, if I ever come across a Arma Mojave, of course, I will definitely consider it. Why? Because I already seen its capabilities, and that truck is 2 thumbs up for me. So yeah, so there you go. There you have it. So once again, to conclude, over budget, out of stock a lot, and it's a beast. So there you go. But still, it's RC Basher Boy approved. So on to the next vehicle. So next, the other brand that we will be talking about is Losi. Okay, and right off the bat, you can see that you got the 1/5 scale, the 5T. So we got it at $1,400, $1,399.99. So yeah, these things are massive. Okay, and then also the Super Rock Ray, they're also massive. And then actually I don't know if the yeah, there it is, the Super Baja Ray. It's also pretty massive. So yeah, one of the vehicles from Losi that I did consider, and it's actually in my wish list, is this one. Okay, so Losi 1/10 scale Baja Ray, 4-wheel drive, bind and drive. Okay, in my opinion, this thing shares the same chassis as the Rock Ray. The Baja Ray and the Rock Ray are basically the same chassis. Baja Ray is in a truck version. Rock Ray is kind of like a buggy version. But if you see underneath, I don't know if Losi has a picture of it underneath. No, they don't. It's technically the same chassis. Okay. So anyway, so why did this catch my attention? Well, one, I don't have the Baja Ray. I do have the Rock Ray. It's the yellow one. And this one's at $349. Okay, so this one is within budget. So it's under $400. And we'll check out the specs. As you can see, it says lock and loaded. Okay, so key features. So it's realistic Baja inspired chassis design. And then we got Dynamite 3800 kV brushless power system. So it is a brushless motor and ESC that's on there. So it's a patent AVC equipped. Okay, so now I'm going to go into more detail on that in just a bit. Waterproof electronics, seal matter gear, transmission and diffs. Here you go. So need to complete. So you need a DSMR compatible 2-channel surface transmitter. Okay, so if you own anything Spectrum that is DSM or DSMR2, DSMR, I don't know what's the latest version now, but if it's DSMR, you can actually bind the receiver that's in this truck onto your remote. Okay, so other thing that I have to point out, this is a bind and drive. Okay, so this vehicle does not come with a remote. Okay, so if you, like myself, if you have many vehicles and if you don't want to deal with all the remotes, all the clutter, what you do is you buy, and of course, I personally like Spectrum, but of course you can buy a Futaba, or you can buy, any other high-end remotes that actually sustain a lot of models inside the remote. So what you do is you bind, this vehicle to your high-end remote, and voila, there you go. So technically you have a bunch of cars all in one remote. So yeah, technically this is what Horizon and of course, Losi has done, for the people that, like myself, that, you buy a ready-to-run vehicle and it comes with a remote and you have no idea what to do with that remote because you have a high-end remote, you know what I mean? So yeah, so Losi, took that out of the equation, not having a remote, and, well, you just bind it to your own and there you go. Okay. So now, of course, so this is budget friendly. the truck looks awesome, and of course, it's a metal. I'm sorry. Let me see if it's aluminum. Yeah, so it's aluminum chassis plate. So this is a chassis that is aluminum underneath. So this is technically in RC Bash Boy's wish list. Okay, so overall, this is a truck, that is definitely budget friendly, and of course, ready to go for me. So now let's move on to the next vehicle. Okay, so moving on to the next vehicle. So this is the Losi 118 Mini T 2.0 Stadium Truck. This is the 40th anniversary limited edition. This actually disappointed me. Why? Because, I think they only made a limited of them. To be honest, I really don't know how many they made. But let's click to see what it says here. I really wanted one, but then again, so as you can see, you don't need it to complete nothing. Everything is included. But then again, this is a special edition vehicle. Okay. Vehicles that I have that kind of have the same platform is the Losi Mini 8. I know that's a 4-wheel drive, but it's kind of like the same size. Although you can actually see so you can see, that logo that is stamped, saying that it's the 40th anniversary by Losi. So let's see specs here. Let me see here. So it's a 2-in-1 brushless 6,000 kV motor. Wow, that's a big motor. And a 20 amp BSC combo. Okay. Well, I mean, it's not a big motor, but it has a bunch of kVs there. So limited edition, a serialized aluminum chassis. So yes, and that's what I mean. I don't know how much of these were made, but this vehicle does have, the number stamped of the number that this vehicle, is, off the finish line. I mean, the assembly line, sorry. So, limited edition, threaded oil fill shocks, fully assembled, ready to run. Dynamite reaction. Oh, wow, so it does come with a battery. Front rib tires and step pin rear tires with dish wheels. Full ball bearings. Nice. Look at that. So, servo saver, 22 suspension geometry, option parts availability. So, so now the price point of this vehicle, if I'm not mistaken, it's like over $250 to $300. But once again, if you find one, I did see them on eBay. Right now they're over $500. But yeah, if I find one, it was probably because it was in, around a budget or anything, what have you. But this was actually in my wish list, but that, you can't really get it. Best thing to look at, to find one, actually, I'm sorry. If you can find one, oh, look, Tro Boys. All right, so if you can find one, your best option is going to your local hobby shop. I know many hobby shops across the country, they did order a bunch of these, so they may have one, but you got to ask them, like, hey, do you have one in stock? I don't know if my local hobby shop has one, but once again, I would definitely have to ask. I'm pretty sure they may have some, but we'll see. But yeah, so this is definitely in my wish list. So now on to the next one. Okay, so the next platform that we will be talking about, it's going to be the Tenacity. And this is the short course truck, the SCT. And also Losi made the Tenacity DB Pro, the Desert Buggy Pro. Okay, so they made it in Lucas Oils and Team Fox Racing. Okay, and also this is the Smart Brenthal scale truck, and then they also made a Falcon, which I can't find. Did I miss it? Oh, here it is. So yeah, so this is the Falcon. Okay. So personally, the truck looks nice. You know, it looks really nice and everything, but I just prefer the desert buggy. You know, that's just my opinion, of course. Like I said, since I stated since the beginning. Okay, everybody's entitled to their own personal opinion. Some people like it, some people hate it. So for me, yeah, this truck, it's not for my liking. So let's go ahead and talk about. Okay, let's talk about this bad boy. Alright, so this is the 1/10 scale Tenacity DB Pro 4-wheel drive desert buggy, brushless, ready to run with smart, technology and the Lucas oils. Okay, so according to Losi, this is super tough, super smart. So apparently, went to Harvard, or I went to a very fancy university. Who knows? But it's smart. Okay. So features: it's got the 10 4-wheel drive platform, the Spectrum Smart 130 amp brushless ESC and Spectrum Firma 4-pole 3150 kV motor. So we got the Spectrum DX2E active radio system, which is AVC, and that's the new receiver that they did, I guess, for telemetry reasons and stuff like that, to my knowledge. Waterproof controller components, 12 millimeter race inspired aluminum bodied shock absorbers and caps, race inspired scaled body, Falcon Wild Peak empty tires, sway bars, adjustable turnbuckles, officially licensed trim schemes from Fox Racing and Lucas Oils, front LED bar, and the 3 silicone filled gear differential and a center differential. Okay, so this vehicle is a little bit over my budget, which is at $429. Okay, and of course, this bad boy is out of stock. Okay, so I do own the Losi 10 SCBE, which is technically the same thing. This is just a more updated version of the vehicle. If I do get this vehicle, I will compare it, side by side with the 10 and the Tenacity. Okay, because online, excuse me, online, if you see right off the bat, this thing has aluminum shocks. Let's see what else is here, and of course, the smart technology, and also even the differential layout is actually different. So, but overall, if I was able to pull the plug on this bad boy, I would have done so, within a blink of an eye. But as you can see, is out of stock. Okay. Now you're probably asking, well, if you say this is a good vehicle, but if you own one, what makes you want to buy, the same vehicle again? Well, I gotta say, man, and we gotta go back to, the what I said, in the beginning. Okay, this is a basher that is gonna be to my liking. This is definitely gonna be a vehicle that I know I'm definitely gonna, enjoy. Okay, and like I said, of course, there's many opinions out there. You shouldn't have gotten this, you shouldn't have gotten that. Here, the whole point is what is gonna make RC Basher Boy happy. Okay, so yeah, this bad boy, and actually especially the Lucas Oil vehicle, definitely, it's amazing. It's a small. I'm sorry. This is definitely a great platform. So, but yeah, well, once again, this is also added to my wish list. Okay, so So yeah, so hopefully see what happens, and other than that, let's go check out the other vehicles. Okay, so for some reason I just couldn't enter the Traxxas website, so I went ahead and went to shopping, and so I'm here in RC Hobby Explosion. Okay, and my next vehicle that I've actually had in mind, it's the Traxxas Rustler 4x4 VXL, the brushless stadium truck or car, whatever you want to call it. So the price is at $379.95. Of course, that's within budget. Okay, and these guys qualifies for free shipping and whatnot. So we'll look at the features. It's an all-new chassis, clipless body mounting, new self-riding feature, which to me personally that's overkill. Up to 65 mile an hour with a 3S LiPo battery. Traxxas TQ 2.4 gigahertz radio system. Waterproof electronic. Permit driving in water, mud, and snow. Permit driving in water. Okay. So this thing, I guess, in other words, it's waterproof. So it's a full-time four-wheel drive, sealed silicon fuel differentials with steer gears, tough torque control, slipper clutch, powerful Valinian 3500 kV brushless motor, high performance VLX 3S water electronic speed control. So it's got here 2.8 wheels with aggressive Talon seat tires, fully adjustable Ultra Shocks with X-Ring technology. So we're gonna go here. Requires a I guess a battery, or a battery which is nickel metal or LiPo, LiPo charger, and of course 4 AA batteries. And of course, they have a special offer here, which, I guess that's a plus. But overall, I did see a couple of reviews on this vehicle. And so far, man, I've heard good things about it. And yeah, this vehicle is also specifically, a Rustler, which is an updated version, because the Rustler technically it is a two-wheel drive, and so they convert to four-wheel drive. So this is a vehicle that I haven't had, and actually my Traxxas lineup isn't much, but I do have, if I'm not mistaken, like 3 vehicles from them. But of course, it's a Traxxas. Everybody has had one once in their life. And these are very, very, how can I put it? They're When it comes to parts, you can find them everywhere. They're very reliable. That's the word I was looking for. So yeah, local hobby shops, you can find parts, left and right. So yeah, so this is definitely in my wish list. So did I get one? Will I get one? Who knows? But let's talk to another vehicle. Okay, so I just went into the Red Cat website. And another vehicle that has been talked about a lot is this Camel X4. Okay, so my first impressions of this truck, it kind of looks like the Yeti XL. Okay. To me, and I will say it because I would be lying to you guys if I say that I like this vehicle. Personally, I've heard a lot of bad stuff about Red Cat. But of course, there's always, about giving second chances. So I did check this out. Okay, I did read about, this says full roll cage, true scale, rock racer chassis, realistic cockpit, independent front suspension, solid rear axle, link rear suspension, threaded oil field shocks, ball bearing throughout. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so this is a 33 kV 100 brushless motor, waterproof 60 amp PSC, which is 2 3S LiPo ready. Okay, and it's assembled and ready to run. And it's in order to run this, it's a 7-cell nickel metal or 2S or 3S, like it's mentioned here, battery, and then it requires AA batteries for transmitter. Okay, So personally, since I do have, well, doesn't want to change. Okay. Oh yeah, so you gotta personally, um, this thing looks like a Yeti XL. This is one of the platforms that, it's pretty cool, but you just you're just owning the same thing. And of course, I know I talked about, the low C, the 10, the tenacity. Um, but yeah, but this doesn't really, catch my eye. I'm not saying that it's a bad vehicle. I'm not saying that, it's horrible. Of course, it's very catchy. It's really good. If I didn't own a Axial Yeti XL, I would actually have this, give this a second chance. To see, this vehicle or this brand can actually, do otherwise. Okay. But yeah, so either or, this vehicle is in my wish list. Okay. The price is at $299, which is definitely under budget. So you can actually, if I would want to upgrade this, I would still have, some money left over to probably upgrade it. But once again, this is brushless. Probably I would just put a Spectrum receiver on there, what have you. But yeah, so this vehicle has been talked a lot. So definitely on my wish list. Another vehicle from Red Cat, and I'll just let it load here, that definitely has been getting a lot of attention is the Wendigo. Wendigo. There you go. Sorry. So price range is at $389.99. Okay. So it's a 110 scale brushless. Oh, there it is. So it's a 110 scale brushless rock racer. Includes a 2.4 gigahertz radio, ready to run, battery and charger not included. Okay. So we got here, it's a 110 scale 4-wheel drive. This is brushless, 25 kilograms servo, waterproof electronics, a 2.4 gigahertz, and high impact plastics. Oh wow, never heard of that term, but so it's a high impact plastics. So this thing looks like the what is it? The SCX10, not the Honcho, but there's a rock crawler that looks kind of like it. But definitely, this is they consider this as a basher, a rock racer. Okay. So in the rock racer scene, you're actually competing with the Losi Baja Ray, that's also, I'm sorry, not the Baja Ray, the Rock Ray, which is also a rock racer. Vatera, actually, the Vatera Twin Hammers, that is actually also a rock racer. And to me personally, I mean, this thing looks like a crawler to me. Of course, if you want to give it some speed and stuff like that, yeah, this definitely screams crawler. But of course, you can actually bash it, and of course, their website claims that it's high impact plastics. So yeah, so even if you ramp it, jump it off a cliff, so you can actually put this term to the test. So there you go. So it's at $389.99, which is a $20 under budget, due to the $400 budget that I have. Okay, and it just says that it's add to cart, so I'm sure this is in stock. So is this in my wish list? Definitely. But once again, which one will I be getting? That's the question. So now to summarize and conclude, basically, we know what this video was all about. So yeah, so my budget is at $400. If I go over, if I go under, that's my discretion, of course. But I want to stay within that area. Okay. So yeah, so those vehicles that we just talked about, they are on my wish list, and I'm still undecided. I still don't know which ones I'm gonna get, or which one, I'm sorry, if I should say, which one I will be getting. Um, of course, look, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I know there's other brands out there. I know there's other vehicles that I did not mention. Okay, and I'm gonna say this. Okay, I've been in the hobby so much that when I buy a vehicle, I ask myself a lot. Do I have this vehicle? What are the intentions of this vehicle? What am I gonna do? Okay, so being in this hobby, when you're in the market for a vehicle to bash, especially to bash, of course, you look at monster trucks, you look at buggies, you look at short course trucks, you look at trophy trucks. You look at that whole area, and when you look at a specific, let's say, for example, if a specific monster truck, okay, you ask yourself, well, do I have that already? And you actually answer yes, okay. Like for example, we were talking about Arma. I do own the Notorious, and looking at the Outcast, of course, the Forest Outcast. I know it's not the similar chassis or what have you, but I do have a monster truck. Whatever you can say, it is a monster truck. Same thing with buggies. Okay, if you want to talk about buggies, I talk about the Vatera Glamisphere for crying out loud, but that's two-wheel drive. I know I talked about the Losi Tenacity DB Pro, and I have the 10, the SCBE. Okay, so bottom line is this, okay? If this is in my wish list, it's for a reason, because I did my research and I know for a fact that I can actually have fun, with that platform. Okay. And of course, it's my opinion. I have nothing bad against any other brands, any other vehicles, but it's just, for my own liking. Okay. It's just those vehicles that really, really caught my eye. Okay. So hopefully, you guys don't get the wrong message, me probably bash about other companies or what have you, but I'm just, giving you my experience of what I had to go to, to purchase, this basher that I've been thinking about purchasing, these past few months. So I did actually, and I want to thank everybody who actually gave me some feedback. I know I was in live streams, like for example, Steve O'D's, the Tanks RC's, 11 Charlie. I know I did ask, many times, hey, so if you want to buy a basher, which one would you get? Or, if you're in a budget for $400, which one would you get? So that actually also did help me, to go this direction. Okay. So yeah, so hopefully you guys did enjoy, this little journey. And so yeah, so I'm going to leave it as, what will RC Basher Boy get? Well, stay tuned on the next video and you will find out. So other than that, RC Basher Boy here. Thanks for watching.